For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Jared Cooper. I'm a physical therapist, which means I help fix people who've got pain, aches, injuries, post-op. And my clinic is called Moment Physical Therapy. It's located in Madison, New Jersey. And we take insurance. We do in-person and telehealth right now. So if anybody's got any aches or pains, you can either come into the clinic or you can do a session like this with me. We've worked with a number of Rob's folks over at Game Changer. It's been an awesome partnership, helping to keep you guys healthy so that you can actually continue to do your workouts. So that's awesome. And I'll share my information at some point in time. But if you ever want to find me, just go to momentpt.com. That's MOMENTPT, like to be in the moment, momentpt.com. Okay, so one of the things that I have been doing a lot with my patients over the last 6 weeks is essentially trying to offset the detriment of sitting at a computer doing Zoom like we are now. So I'm essentially going to be teaching you a series of exercises and stretches that you can do right in your chair at your computer while you're working or in between actual Zoom sessions without having to get up, where you're going to stretch every major muscle in your body, your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your hip flexors, your glutes, and you can just literally do it right behind your computer. And so there never again needs to be an excuse not to get your mobility work in. And I think this will be very supportive for you guys. So raise your hand if that sounds like a good idea to you. Okay, cool. So all you need to be successful right now essentially is a chair. I'm in just a simple crappy chair. But the one thing that I do have underneath my butt, I do have a cushion. So if you're sitting in a chair that's really short, you may want to consider grabbing a pillow and sticking a pillow under your butt. The higher you are in your chair, the way easier it is to sit up nice and tall. So we'll start there. All right, I see a few folks getting some pillows. Cool. All right, hopefully you're sitting in a chair that's got a backrest with you. We're just gonna start with a nice good chest opener, and we're just gonna kind of stretch open just to get ourselves reset a little bit. I'm gonna take you through the series of steps to get into proper posture. And then we're gonna work on our breathing a little bit, and then we're gonna start to get in some really cool stretches. So the first thing I want you to do is literally slide all the way back in your chair so that your body is up against your backrest. I'm gonna have you place your hands interlock like this, either on the front of your head or the back of your head like this. And I'm gonna have you just lean back as far as you can, open your elbows, careful not to tip your chair over, and just get a nice big stretch in your body. You should feel this in your upper back and your chest and your shoulders. When you want to come out of it, just bring your elbows forward and sit back up. And let's do that a few times. Inhale, reach back as far as you can. Let your body lean back over the chair. A couple of deep breaths while we're here. And come back. And then do that one more time. Lean back as far as you can. This time, extend your arms out. Let your arms be a fulcrum to stretch you a little bit further. Very good. And then slowly come back. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna scoot back a little bit so you guys can see me head to toe. And I want you to scoot to the very edge of your chair. Get to the very, very front. It's important to understand that posture is not about what you do with your shoulder blades or your head. We're all taught that sitting up really tall means pulling your chest up and your shoulders back. But in reality, posture starts from your pelvis. It doesn't start from your shoulders. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna learn how to get upright in our chair, because all of the stretches that we're gonna do are gonna be off of this properly postured foundation and sitting. So take your hands like this, and I want you to place them on your hips. And we're gonna just roll our pelvis into an anterior and posterior tilt. That looks like this. You're gonna roll back with your pelvis, and you're gonna feel your chest drop, and then roll forward with your pelvis, and you're gonna feel your chest lift. Go ahead and do that a few times, rocking your pelvis back and forward. Now with your hands, push with your thumbs to rock your pelvis forward, and pull with your fingertips to rock your pelvis backwards. Notice as you rock your pelvis forward, what happens to your chest? It goes up. What happens when you rock your pelvis backwards? What happens to your chest? It goes down. So rather than think about chest up, let's rock our pelvis all the way forward. Now, take your hand, reach back and grab your butt meat. literally your butt meat, and pull your butt meat out from behind your sits bones on that side, and pull your butt meat out on that side. Now, sit on the front edge of your sits bones with your pelvis rolled forward and rest your hands on your thighs. Raise your hand if it's easier to sit up tall now. Yes. Now, I don't suggest if you're in public, you reach back and grab your ass meat in order to sit up tall, but there is a little bit of a trick, which is when you want to sit up tall, what you do is you just overshoot the chair and you slide forward coming down into it. And what that does is it traps your butt meat behind your sits bones. As opposed to sitting down in a chair like this, where your pelvis rolls back and you end up in the turtle shell, overshoot the chair and then slide forward. And if you're in private, give yourself a little butt meat pull and roll your pelvis forward. That's the bottom part of posture. This is the lower cogwheel. Now let's work on this part. Take your hands and place them on your knees. Take your hands and press downwardly. Press downwardly with your hands. And notice how when you push down with your hands, notice how that's lifting up your chest bone. Now relax that pressure and do it again. Push down a little harder. Notice how that lifts your chest bone. And then relax. One more time. Push down, lift your chest bone. And now back off that a little bit. And you'll notice that that leaves you sitting taller than you were a second ago. Now, part of the key to this whole thing is leg position. So a few of you guys, I'm seeing you have your legs kind of close together like this. That's not going to work. And I'll show you why. Go ahead and cross your legs all the way. Cross your legs all the way. Remember how we were trying to roll our pelvis forward? Try to roll your pelvis forward now and sit up. It's really hard, isn't it? You can feel your back muscles working like crazy. That's because your hip sockets don't face forward. Your hip sockets actually face outwards at about 45 degrees. So put your legs out at 45 degrees. And what do we call this when you're in the subway? What is this called? You guys know what this is called, right? The man spread. The reason it's so much easier to sit like this is because this is actually the angle of your hip sockets. Notice now with your legs out like this, if you put your hands on your hips and roll your pelvis forward and backward, how much easier it is to roll your pelvis forward when your legs are separated. Hands on your legs, lift your chest all the way up, and then back off the strain. Perfect. Now we're sitting in proper posture. This is the position we want to do our stretches in. This is the position we want to work on a computer. Don't use your backrest when you're using a computer, because if you do, you have to slide your butt back and now lean forward to get to the computer and you end up here. Rather, sit at the edge of your chair. Sit on a pillow so you're nice and high. Open your legs wide. Roll your pelvis forward, and if you need to, pull that butt meat back. Push down on your knees and lift your chest, and that gets you into a nice position. Raise your hand if this feels good sitting like this. Awesome. Okay. The next thing we want to do is we want to stretch open the chest. As we know, that working at a computer tightens up the pec muscles. So we're just going to start. Once you get into this position, we call a postural reset. We're just going to do the back pocket stretch. Super simple. Both arms go up. We're going to reach back and try to put your elbows in your back pockets as far as you can. And then I want you to drop your arms and exhale. Lift up again. Back pockets. And drop your arms and exhale. One more time. Lift, big stretch, back pockets, back pockets, back pockets. This time, slowly lay your hands back down. Perfect. And that opens us up through here. That's really nice. We're going to go on to the cervical spine now. So what we've done is we've set the pelvis in position. Then we used our hands and we set our thoracic spine in position. And now we've set our shoulders back, but there's one more piece. What is it? It's the head, right? The head wants to stick out like this. So what we're going to do last to reset our posture is we're going to bring the head straight back. Now, the way to think about this is like someone's coming in for a kiss and you kind of don't want to be rude, but you don't want the kiss. So you back your head straight up. Or like someone's got smelly breath, but you don't really want to smell the breath, but you don't want to be rude. So you just back your head straight up. It's not this. Don't tuck. It's straight back. Take 2 fingers of your right hand, whatever your dominant hand is. Place those right here on your chin. Bring your head straight back and push with your hands a little bit. and then release. And try again. Bring your head straight back. Push with your hands a bit. And release. And one more time. And now back off just a little bit of that position. Take your hand away. And you'll now feel you have proper pelvic position, proper trunk position, proper head position. And now hands go on your computer, eyes forward on your monitor, and this is the way that you're working. And at any point in time you lose that position while you're at your computer and you start to find yourself doing this, what do? You go through those same steps. You set your pelvis, you spread your legs, you roll forward, you push off your knees, you reset your head, and you do your stretch. Does that make sense, guys? Thumbs up? Because I know you're all muted. Okay, cool. Now let's start to actually go through our stretches. We're going to start with our neck rolls. Bring your head down towards your chest, nice and slow. Exhale. Roll your head to your left, nice and slow. Go about halfway back, not all the way back. Change direction. Roll down through the front again. Roll to the other side and about halfway up, and then back down again. And give me a couple of neck rolls. Notice I'm not having you roll your head backwards. That is not good for your spine, but it's totally okay to roll your head forwards. Now, some of you may be feeling some areas of tension. In other words, some angle of this rotation gives you more tension than others. It's okay to pause there, slow down, and let that open up before you continue. Good. And now inhale, sit back up nice and tall. We're going to do neck rotation. Watch me first. I'm going to turn my head all the way to one side. But when I turn my head, I don't want to tilt it back or tuck it down. You want to think like rotisserie chicken, right on axis. We're going to turn all the way. Then we're going to take our thumb and we're going to hook our thumb behind the bottom bone of our skull. So right back in here, and our fingers are across our cheekbone. And we're going to use our hand to push a little bit to increase the stretch. Now you try. Rotate your head as far as it'll go, like a rotisserie chicken. Thumb on the upper part of your cervical spine, just below your skull. Fingers across your cheekbone. Add a little bit of pressure into rotation. It shouldn't hurt. And then come back. Let me watch you now a few times. Rotate to the left as far as you can. Fingers across your cheekbone, thumb hooked on your occiput. Give yourself a little pressure and come back. And then one more time to the other side. And what we're doing here is we're just increasing neck rotation. Neck rotation is very important for driving. It's important for golf and tennis, any kind of rotary sports. It's also very important for being comfortable when you sleep. Good, come on back. Now take your right hand and grab the bottom of your chair. Grab the bottom of your chair with your right hand. Sit up nice and tall and lean a little bit to your left so that your right shoulder is being pulled down by the fact that you're grabbing the chair. And now tilt your head to the left away from your arm. You should be feeling a stretch now coming down the right side of your neck. And it shouldn't be painful. It should just be a nice, intense stretch. A couple of deep breaths. And then come on back up. Place your right hand on your lap. Left hand grabs the chair underneath. Sit up nice and tall. Lean to your right until you feel tension in your arm. And then tilt your head in the same direction. You should feel a nice, good pull on the left side of your neck now. Sit up nice and tall. Take some deep breaths. Good. One more time to either side. Left hand down, right hand grabs chair. Lean a little further this time. Tilt your head a little further this time. Good. And we're going to add a little bit of a chin tuck, bringing the chin down a little bit. Stretching the upper trapezius. This is the muscle that everybody wants massaged all the time. Good. And bring everything back up. Change hands one more time. Sit up nice and tall. Tilt to the right. Chin down a little bit. Stretching the upper trap. Some of you might feel that all the way up into your skull. Deep breaths. Good. And come back. Good. Hands on lap, couple of shoulder rolls. Our neck should feel nice and loose right now. If you've got a lot of neck trouble sitting at your computer, those stretches are the ones to go to. We're going to work into our shoulders now. Open and close the arms, just in a nice, relaxed, limbering fashion to warm up the shoulder joints before we stretch the shoulders. Don't hit your neighbor. You guys are looking good. All right. Now we're going to trap that left arm across the body. Right arm's going to come underneath. Now, when you do this stretch, it's important that you try to get all the way to the other side of your elbow. So you're not grabbing here. You got to see if you can get all the way to the other side of your elbow. Now, for some of you, that might be tough, and that's okay. Now, the arm that you're stretching, that's going to be your left arm, if you're following me, is straight. I mean straight. Don't let it bend at all. Straighten it all the way out. And now with this top arm, you're literally going to do a bicep curl. And with that bicep curl, you're going to pull that shoulder in. As you do this stretch, try to pull your left shoulder back and down into the socket. Try to pull your left shoulder back and down into the socket. And you'll feel that generate the stretch in the left shoulder. Good. Really kind of pull in there and straighten out that arm. It's important to stay active in the stretch. Don't do this. See this? Don't do this. It's important to keep the arm straight and the bicep curled. Good. Open, other side. Right arm cross body. Right arm straight, straight, straight. Bicep curl. Get to the proximal or the shoulder side of your elbow. Pull across and now bring your right shoulder down and back into the socket. That's the key to getting the stretch into the shoulder, is pulling that shoulder down and back into the socket. Really nice. Hold for a few seconds. Some of you guys are losing your posture. Reset your posture. That's it. Thank you. And then slowly release. Take both hands and reach behind. See what you can grab back there. Grab the bottom corner of your chair. Whatever you can grab is fine for me. Good. Now tuck your feet back a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift our chest as tall as we can, all the way up. Almost like you're going to lean forward and fall out of your chair. If you've got armrests, you can even put your arms up on the armrests and use the armrest for the stretch. This is going to be our shoulder extension stretch, and we're trying to bring our sternum right through the screen as the arms are pinned back and behind us. Take a couple of deep breaths into your rib cage while you're here. One more time, deep breath. Slow exhale. And slowly release. Keep your hands behind you and slide them right back, and you're going to grab your own wrist. You're going to grab your own wrist. Doesn't matter which hand you use. From this position, we call this the handcuff stretch. Can you guys guess why? That's right, because it kind of looks like you're in handcuffs. Okay, keep your hands low, kind of near your sacrum to start. And then I want you to slowly bring your shoulders back and your elbows back. And as you do that, you're going to start to feel a stretch in your shoulders. Now, some of you are going, but I want more stretch. This isn't enough. All you got to do is release, move your hands up your spine, and then retract your shoulders again. The higher your hands are on your back, the more the stretch. The lower your hands are on your back, the less stretch. Good. Couple of deep breaths. And then what I want you to do is switch hands. So if your right hand's grabbing your left, now your left hand's going to grab your right for our second set. The hand that is being grabbed always gets a little more stretch. Move your hands up your back a little bit, and then roll your shoulders all the way back and pin your elbows backwards. Make sure as you do the stretch that your elbows are bent. You're not down here like this. We have bent elbows. This stretch helps you to put on a bra. It helps you to reach back in behind you, to reach back into the back seat of a car. Helps you to reach back to get out of a chair. This rotator cuff stretch is very important for those of you guys that also do chest press, because this motion is necessary to be able to do this movement without shoulder pain. Awesome. And then slowly come out. We're going to take the right hand now. We're going to make a fist, and we're going to place that right arm down against the inner thigh. And we're going to keep that right arm straight and strong. And we're going to take the left arm, and we're going to make a big circle open into the corner. So reach like you're doing the backstroke, but you're not actually going to finish the move. You're just going to reach back as far as you can. Good. And then we're going to take that top hand, bring it down, Plant it against the inside of your leg. The other arm's gonna reach. Reach with your thumb, lead with your thumb, just like you do with a backstroke. Good, open your chest, more. Turn, turn, turn. Use the downside hand to make pressure. The pressure from the downside hand opens the top side hand. Good, come on back and switch one more time. Open, big open, rotate. This time, finish the backstroke, finish it. One more time, up and open. Finish the backstroke this time. And one more. Reach back, push down with your bottom hand. That bottom hand's the key. Nice, change sides, 3 backstrokes on the right. Open and reach. Notice I'm leaning my body in the direction I wanna go. Big open, reach, stretch back. Some of you are sitting outside, take that deep breath in. It's so beautiful out right now. Nice, and then come back. Take your right forearm, place your right forearm against your right thigh. Good. Now straighten out your spine. Good. Now lean a little bit to your right. So you're leaning onto that forearm. Now take your left arm and reach it out to the side, palm up. We're going to go into a half moon stretch. It's really important you sit right at the edge of your chair. Yeah, get all the way at the edge. Good. Now take that left arm and go up and over. Use your right arm as a fulcrum to support your body weight as you reach. Now take deep breaths into your left rib cage. Now take those deep breaths. Very nice. Stay here, but lower your arm. Give your arm a break and then open it again. Big stretch, a little deeper this time. Slide your forearm towards your knee. Get a little lower, lean and open. Deep breath, keep the arm moving, stretch through the fingertips. Nice. Relax your neck and shoulders. You don't need any tension there. Perfect. Take that top arm, bring it on back. Slide that left forearm down to your inner thigh. Lean over to your left. Lengthen your spine, half moon over, and then make a big arc with that right arm up and over. Not just over. Don't collapse. Up and over. Very nice. Deep breaths into your right rib cage now. Good. Stay in this position. Just release the arm. And now one more time, swoop it up. Reach for the sky, up, the biggest circle you can. Once it's over top, breathe into your right rib cage. Make sure to lean on that left forearm. That left forearm really has your body weight for support. Very nice. And then slowly come back. Last upper body stretch is a simple spinal twist. From here, reach over. If you've got an armrest, you can grab the armrest. If you don't, grab the back of your chair. Look over your shoulder. Good. And then slowly come back other direction. Make sure that when you do your twist stretches, you're sitting up tall like rotisserie. Think of that rotisserie chicken. I know rotisserie goes sideways because it's kind of like more like a hero, right? Like a gyro. But you got the idea. Make sure that you're on axis. You're on the axis of your spine. And then slowly come back. Hands on your lap, couple of big shoulder rolls. The neck and the upper body are done. You guys are doing great. Let's move into the legs. We are going to start the legs with the hamstrings. To do that, we're going to move one leg out to the side. So you're going to take one leg. Let's take our left leg to start. And we're going to take that left leg and we're going to send it out. Let me lower my camera a little bit so you guys can see. Okay, there we go. We're going to take that left leg out to the side. Good. Now again, make sure you're sitting right at the edge of your chair. Keep that posture. Keep those hips open. Now take your left hand and place it right in the crease of your hip right there. And you're going to push down with that left hand. Push down. That's going to sit that hip socket. And then sit up nice and tall. And you're going to tilt your entire body weight towards that foot. Good. The other hand, you're going to press it down into your thigh. That's going to give you a little bit of a fulcrum to push off of to lean into that leg. You're thinking about bringing your chest towards your foot, but don't round your back to get there. Keep your spine straight and think about moving as a unit, the way a waiter bows, the way you do a proper deadlift. You want to keep your back straight and tilt your body weight over. Now take both hands, place them on your left leg, on your thigh, push down with your hands. Good. And now we can pump the ankle back and forth just a little bit, lifting the toes up. Excellent. And then very slowly push off your hands and come back. Slide that leg in. Good. To the other side now. Kick out the right leg. Open your inner groin. Sit at the edge of your chair. Take your right hand, place it into your hip crease. Push that hip crease down. That gives you an idea. That's where the motion's coming from, not your spine. Take your other hand, place it on your thigh. Straighten out your spine. Remember, use your hands to lift your heart and chest. Turn your body towards your right leg and then hinge over. Hinge and lean. Good. Back straight. Some of you guys are still letting your spine go. Find your spine. Relax your shoulders. Find your spine. Relax your shoulders. When you're ready, take both hands and place them onto your right thigh. Push down. Good. You can pump your ankle a little bit. Body weight over. If you lost your posture, find your posture. It's posture, but it's tilted over. It's a tilted postural position. Good. And then slowly come back. Good. Bring that leg back in. And now I'm going to teach you guys how to stretch your hip flexors right there in your chair. This is one of my favorite stretches. Okay, we know that when we sit a lot, we get super tight in the front of the hips, right? Because this is all closed up. I'm going to demonstrate this first, okay? We're all going to turn in the same direction so I can coach you guys, which is in this direction. So that's my left, it's your right. We're going to turn sideways so that one butt cheek is on the chair and the other butt cheek is off the chair. Lean towards your chair. Now watch this. I'm going to take this free leg, which is your left leg, and I'm going to send it back and behind me and land on the ball of my foot. And now when I sit up tall, I'm going to squeeze my left butt cheek, and you should feel a stretch if you got your leg far enough back in the front of your thigh. Raise your hand if you feel it there. Awesome. Now what you can do is lift your body up and then lean back a little bit and lean towards your chair a little bit, and you're going to increase the stretch. This is one of my favorite ways to stretch the hip flexor with or without sitting at your desk. You can do this in the gym. You can do it on a ball, a Swiss ball. You can do it on an exercise bench. You can even do this on your couch. One of the best hip flexor stretches, and there's no pressure on the knee like when we do a half kneeling stretch. We have to deal with the pressure on the knee. Here, there's no knee pressure. Now from this position, reach up to the sky and then over a little bit. Good, and then lean back and really accentuate the stretch by lifting up that top arm. Use your chair if you need to support your body weight a bit. Awesome. And then slowly come on back. Bring that leg forward again. Let's turn our tush all the way to the other side. Perfect. So your left butt cheek is now on the edge of your chair. Your right butt cheek is free. Lean into your chair to make it easier to bring that leg back and behind you and the other leg forward. So if you look at me from the side, this front knee is in front, the front foot is in front, and the other leg is as far back as I can get it. Now lift up nice and tall and squeeze the butt cheek on the leg you're stretching. That's going to be your right tush muscle. Squeeze it. And as you squeeze it, you'll feel that stretch open up in the front of your hip. If you have an armrest, you can grab the armrest with both of your hands. That really helps to secure you. You can also take your left hand and grab the back of your chair to secure you. Those are very helpful ways to keep yourself in control here. Tighten your tummy, sit up tall, and then lean back a little bit. Lean into the chair. Good. Now accentuate the stretch by reaching up with your right arm, up towards the sky and back a little bit. This movement is optional. If you feel the stretch already, you probably don't even need this part. Nice. Deep breaths. Relax your neck and shoulders. You don't need tension there. And then drop your arm and bring yourself back to center. I love that stretch. Okay, we're kind of coming on to the last couple of stretches here. Take your right foot, cross it over your left. This alone may be troublesome for some of you guys, but that's okay. You want to get the ankle just next to the foot. So I don't want to put the foot there. I don't want to cross it over so much like this. I want to get kind of the ankle right on top of the thigh. Now, always, as usual, sit up tall. Sit at the edge, sit up tall. Take your foot in one hand, take your knee in the other. We're going to give gentle down pressure on the knee, working into external rotation of the hip. This position, if you can't do this, it's very hard to sit crisscross applesauce. So if you're playing with your kids or your grandkids on the floor and you're trying to sit crisscross applesauce, but you can't do this, you end up sitting in a slouch position. So this rotation is crucial. It also helps to open the hip up to get deeper into your squats. Good, release that. And one more time, push down on the knee, pull up on the foot a little bit. Very nice. Excellent. Now, to go into the buttock stretch from here, it's super simple. We're going to take that leg and we're going to cross it over more. And now you're going to take your ankle and you're going to pull your ankle towards you. Now you should have a teeny weeny space between your thighs. You're going to interlock your hands over your knee. And you're going to sit up tall and pull your knee towards your chest. Aha. Raise your hand if you now feel a stretch in your tush. Perfect. Yep. Now lean your body forward a little bit, but keep your back straight. Pull your knee in as you lean forward, but keep your back straight. That's a nice deep stretch in the tush. If you need more stretch, all you got to do is pull that foot in a little tighter. Super. One more, and let it go. Perfect. Take the hands down to the foot, give the foot a little massage, get the arch a little bit, massage the toes. Very nice. We don't want to forget about the foot. Uncross that foot, take it down, take that left foot, figure 4 position, ankle on top of the thigh. Awesome. Now for here, don't pull that foot in. Keep it right near your knee. Grab your foot, grab your knee, sit up tall. Push down with your left hand, pull up with your right hand. Figure 4 stretch. This is a different stretch than the pretzel or the buttock stretch. You'll feel it in a different place. Sit up nice and tall, opening up the hip. For most of you, one hip is going to feel tighter than the other one. For me, this one feels tighter for sure. Good. And release. And now take that ankle and pull it across and in. So you're as tight as you can go. Tiny little triangle between your thighs. 2 hands, interlock, grab your knee. Sit up, pull your knee towards you and lean forward until you get a stretch in your left tush muscle. Very nice. Release a little bit, reset your posture. Relax your neck and shoulders, pull that knee back in again. If you need more stretch, pull the ankle a little bit closer and then reset the hands. Very good. A few more seconds and release. Go ahead and massage the foot and ankle a little bit. Massage the ball of the foot, massage the arch and the plantar fascia. Very nice. Uncross. Reset your posture one last time. Sit at the edge, grab your butt meat, pull it out, hands on your thighs, lift your chest, retract your cervical spine all the way, and then do your opener, elbows to back pockets. I'm just reminding you guys how to do this. Hands on your lap. And let's just take 3 slow, long inhales together. Deep breath in. Slowly out on a 5 count. Deep breath in. Slowly out on an 8 count. One more. Deep breath in. And a 10 count to finish up. Very good. Raise your hand if you feel better now than when you came on the call. Awesome. That's great. I'm going to scoot in a little bit. Thank you so much. I want to unmute everybody. And so I can take questions about any of those specific stretches or any aches or pains that you guys have. And Rob, how do I do that here? Is there a way to like do a mass unmute, or everybody can unmute themselves? Participants. Oh, there you go. Okay, cool.
Hey, I have a question.
Yes, Kara, what's up?
When we were stretching the left side just now, I was feeling that in the back of my knee in a not painful way, but not necessarily a great way.
Yeah, can you which stretch? The figure 4 or the buttock one?
Pretty much the buttock one.
Do you have a knee problem in general, or did you just feel it during that stretch?
I felt it during that stretch. I mean, in workouts, I don't always do the lunges and stuff because my knee bugs me a little bit, but it was just feeling tight or something.
Yeah, so I would probably unflex the knee quite a bit so that you're not pulling that in quite so tight. And also,
Okay.
rather than starting this with yourself in good posture, to offload that stretch a little bit, all you got to do is lean back. And when you lean back, it takes off some of the intensity on the stretch. So
Yeah,
it could
it
just
does.
be for you that the torque a little bit was a little too much.
All
Yeah.
right. It was great. Thank you.
I have
you.
a question.
Yes, who's
Do you
talking?
do you have available appointments on Monday?
I do. So all you got to do, I'm trying to figure out a way to put my phone number up on the screen.
I know how to find you.
Okay, well, that's good.
Oh, wait.
Well, let's see if this works.
I just sent the
Oh, there we
message.
go.
Okay.
Okay. All right, there we go.
Great.
Anyway, that's
Thank you
that's
so
how you
much.
find me. Absolutely. Any other questions?
Ooh, I have a quick one.
Yes.
First off, that was amazing. I loved all of it.
Thank you.
The only one I didn't feel a lot was when we did the hamstring stretch. When you say to put the foot out, is it further than the 45 that we're already sitting at?
Let me see if I can find you. Raise your hand if you're talking.
Kelly with a light gray
Oh,
background.
hi, Kelly. Okay, there you are. Okay. Can you tilt your screen down? Let's watch you do the stretch and let's troubleshoot.
All right, let me.
You know what's
walk,
also possible, Kelly? You got to bear in mind, if your hamstrings are already ridiculously flexible, then
I
you
don't
need
think
to.
that's the case.
Okay. Because that would be one reason not to feel a stretch, right? Is if you're just flexible.
So you're already at your 45. Do you go out further than that?
No, I'll stay at about 45. And you don't have to go out to 45. You can do that stretch with that right leg more in front of you.
Oh, maybe that'll help.
Yep. And then make sure that you're not getting that left leg in the way. Like keep the right leg in front of you, but open the left leg out of your way. And then hinge over and get your whole body weight forward. And, yep.
I want to get his name.
I do feel a little more when I bring the foot like more in front of me than out to the side.
Okay. And the last option is if you want to put your foot up on a book, just, throw it up on something to increase the angle of the hip.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Anyone else?
Probably has his doctorate in physical
How's the chance? You got 100% of my attention.
So yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
Can I ask? It's Jenny Maloney.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey. So when I do you used to make me do the handcuff stretches.
Yes.
And my left rotator cuff, I think, has issues. So I mean, should it be hurting, or what can I do to make it not hurt when I do that?
If you've already got rotator cuff issues and this hurts, the way to make it less aggressive is instead of grabbing your wrist, you grab your thumb and you just bring everything down.
Yep.
You have to be able to reach behind your back. Like that's a requirement in life. Like if you can't reach behind your back, there are certain things you won't be able to do. So the question is, how do you just make it less aggressive so that you can do the stretch and then increase the intensity of the stretch over time to increase your range? So it's a function of intensity. I tried to pick a level that I thought was good for most people, but if it's too intense, just go to grabbing the thumb and lower the hand down your back a little bit and focus on the retraction of the scapula rather than pulling your hand up your back.
Okay, because where I feel it is in the front of the shoulder.
Well, that's where you should feel it because that's what's stretching. but it should not be a painful sensation. It should just be an intense stretch.
Yeah, no, that's where the pain is. So I'll do the
Right.
thumb. I'll try
Yeah,
that.
grab the thumb.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Dr. Cooper, it's Jana. So question.
Oh, there you are. Oh, hey, Steinman. What's up?
So when in our basic sitting position, right, when we roll the hips back and then we roll the hips, the pelvis forward, and then we kind of get to that neutral position. You know, to maintain it, do we always have to hold the core in? Right,
So
keeping constant tension in the core?
okay, the short answer is no. And I'll
Okay.
tell you why. Because it depends on what you mean by core. Your abdominal muscles don't hold you up. Your abdominal muscles flex you, right? Where are your abs? They're in the front. If I tighten my abs right now, I flex. They're not posture muscles. They don't hold you up. They pull you down. The muscles that hold you up are your back muscles, right? Back muscles extend you. Ab muscles flex you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not really trying to contract your core when you're sitting, because all you would really be doing is just increasing compression on your spine. What you're trying to do is fill yourself with oxygen. Now, let me explain. Try this for a second. Are you ready? I want you to take a deep breath in, deep breath. And then while you're holding your deep breath, hold your breath and try to slouch. And if you hold the breath in, it's hard to slouch. How do you slouch? You have to let the air out, right? What holds you up when you're sitting is actually the high pressure system. In other words, if you didn't have any air in your lungs, you would actually be sitting like this. So you inhale all the way, and then you just use a nice, smooth, tidal breath from the inhaled position. And you'll notice you don't need to contract your abs to do that. All you need to do is contract your transversus. That's the deep core muscle. So not the muscles that crunch you, but the deep core muscles. To do that, you don't even need to think about contracting your abs. All you need to think about doing is getting taller. And the taller you get, the more you're going to feel your transversus abdominis drawing in. And that's all it takes is a full tank of gas, a full tank of air, and then feel like you're sitting up taller. And by doing those two things, the core muscles that sit you up turn on, and the core muscles that you don't need turn off. You don't need to brace your abs. So bracing your abs is utilized when you're lifting something heavy. Like if I were to pick up a kettlebell, I need all of my abs on and all of my back muscles. But if I'm literally in a low energy state, which is what sitting at your computer is, there's no load other than your trunk. You don't need extra contraction. And in fact, the more extra contraction you add, the more you're actually going to fatigue yourself and squish your spine.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep. Yes.
Do you have any recommendations in regards to standing for work at our desk versus sitting? We've been trying to alternate to alleviate some of that lower back pain and like pain. But then I feel like the longer we stand, then we just end up with other aches.
Yeah. So the short answer to that is 30-30, which is standing for 30, sitting for 30. Okay. And you're right. The longer you stand, you end up with other aches. But Irene, that really has a lot to do with your ability to stand correctly. We went over today the key components of sitting correctly, right? There are different components for standing, which I didn't talk about today. And if you can get your head over your shoulders over your pelvis over your feet, so your body's behaving like a column, right? And you're using minimal muscular effort, you should have little fatigue over 30 minutes. Now, that being said, it's not wise to stand still either. Notice your instinct when you're standing is to move a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Shift your body left and right, march in place, change position, slouch a bit, stand up a bit. That's healthy.
Okay.
Don't think that proper posture is this and not moving, right? Proper posture is dynamic. Now in sitting, you don't get the advantage of being able to move very much. But watch, this is a stand desk. Now I'm standing, right? So now I'm in a standing position. right? So when I'm standing working at my computer, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm moving my shoulders, I'm moving my head. The more you move when you're standing, the less detriment you're gonna feel with the static act of standing.
Okay.
And then either way, you're gonna fatigue anyway because blood is pooling into your feet and calves, whether you move or you don't move. So then you sit down for 30 minutes, then you stand back up and you go back and forth.
Okay.
But part of it, you have to understand, if you said, I have other aches and pains in standing, those aches and pains may be things that need to be just dealt with separately. You may be standing perfectly, but you've got a hip issue or a back issue. So if you've got an issue, that issue needs to be addressed. If you don't have an issue and you're just literally getting fatigued from standing, then follow the 30-30 rule, follow the movement rule, and follow the get taller rule. If you follow those 3 things, you should have better standing tolerance. And bear in mind, human beings were not meant to sit or stand in one place for any amount of time, right? Primal man and woman didn't just stand still, ever. Like, what would they be doing? You know what I mean? Like, we're designed to move. We're movement creatures. That's why getting in your game changer workouts every day is like so key, right? Moving. And this Zoom shit that we're doing right here, this is totally unnatural, right? So there is just some aspect of being unnatural that we're just dealing with.
Thank you so much. I'll definitely try to, I'll try to stick to the 30-30.
Yeah, good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Welcome. Good. Any other questions?
No, thank you very much. This was great.
Good. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for joining, everybody.
Thank
You guys
you.
are awesome.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for organizing.
Okay.
I'll be circulating this.
Bye, everyone.